Alright, I think it's finally time to remove the copper golems. Yes, they were a cool addition for my sorting system, but they just don't work that well. They're slow and noisy, and making their filters is such a pain. So today, we're going to be upgrading and getting rid of our little copper buddies and creating a much better sorting system. Oh, hey guys. Alright, so I've been gathering all of my materials and just everything basically from the entire world, every dimension. I'm going through my nether, the end, every shulker monster I've left lying around. I'm trying to consolidate it here, and I've started gathering materials for all the redstone, so like hoppers, chests, the comparators, the stone for that, all the bulbs we'll be needing. And it is time to say goodbye to the copper golems. We might, I guess I can keep them. Maybe I'll move them to the next floor up and just have them kind of sitting in there. Or maybe I can bring them back and just use them as decoration. Maybe just have them wandering around to make the whole floor look a little bit more alive. Because it'll feel a little bit more cramped in here because this whole middle thing is going to be gone. It'll just be two thick walls and in the back. So we'll have to figure out what to do in the centerpiece. Maybe our little copper golems can help. But this is going to be the last time we're going to be seeing this whole kind of area with how I built it. I built it up a little bit better, less detailed, but that can be done after we get all the guts and redstone in, because that's going to take a long time. Plus, we have to do some demolition on this entire thing. So, we're going to do some demo, but first, let's head over into a redstone world. We're going to explain all the redstone behind, all the sorting and stuff that I plan to add in, and then we'll do a quick time lapse of demolition, rebuild, and then we can start taking a look at it and maybe do a little bit more decoration. Let's go to creative now. Alright, and here we are in a creative world where I kind of plan this whole thing out, because there's nothing worse than building a super complicated kind of redstone thing in survival mode, it not working, and then you having to try and troubleshoot in survival, when in creative I can kind of just like fly through things, or I can duplicate things with Axiom like this if I need to. Just makes everything easier. I can troubleshoot, design the whole thing, and then just port it into the survival using a bit of Lightmatica. So let's take a look at the pieces of this sorting system. Alright, so first up, this is my input chest. It'll probably be closer to here, so it's actually in the wall, makes it look better, but this is just for demo. So it's going to take all the input chest, it's going to put everything through here, and into this dropper chain. Now this is going to be pulsing on a clock, so it's just going to push them straight up into this hopper here, and then across, over one, and then down into this barrel. Now, as things are pulsing, it's going to be locking and unlocking these based on these clocks, or not clocks, lamps, because it's going to turn these torches on and off, which basically flips these back and forth. So then this one will be off and these will be on, and then the comparators also read through that and basically put in signals. As you can see, it's going to be not going in because this one is currently locked, because the power is going into this one, so this is locked, nothing can get through. Once this one gets depowered, so let's say I just remove this real quick, it's going to let it through and it's going to go to the next one. So these are just keeping it so that it's not going through too quickly and has a chance to check if it can fit into any of these chests here. Now, the filter in this one is the items. If you have something in here that's equal, so like let's say there's a piece of wood, it can go in. But like the chest, I can't shift click it in, so these hoppers can't put it in. So it's going to go through all these hoppers, checking if it can go into these chests. If not, it's going to come down to this bottom row, go across into this new dropper, and then the exact same thing's going to happen. It's going all the way up into this one, which shoots it into this line, which then, if you can kind of get the angle, you can see it's going into this chest, and it's going to do the exact same thing. It's going to go down through all these, check these chests. These ones have all the spruce stuff in it. So as you can see, oak wood will already be sorted into these ones, and then spruce will go into these ones. As you can see, bam, it can fit in, which means it's going to go into this one. But if it's one that none of these can filter, it's just going to go to the next one. Because the nice thing is, if we remove this, we can just clone these two lines here, try and get all of them, and all the way down to the bottom, we just drag it over, drag it over, drag it over. Probably should have grabbed the chests, but these ones have stuff in them, so I don't want to do that. And we just copy the chests over, and we can put new things in each row. I can maybe, instead of having the oak or the spruce down there, I can have the oak down there. And I know this one is oak, this one is spruce. I do all the woods, all the other things. And it basically just filters and does that pattern over and over and over as many times as you want, as long as you're feeding some pulses into the stuff back here. We'll take a better look at the completed thing after I build the whole thing. But the another thing, it's going to go all the way through. And then at the very end, we're going to see this chest here. This will be our output. We can maybe put it down here and then just feed a bunch of hoppers into it. As long as this output from this one, let's go up one more, over, and like that. So if it doesn't fit into any of the chests that are going to go into these, it'll go into my overflow chest. And that lets me know it's not in my system. It could be either things that like aren't stackable. So swords aren't going to be able to stack on top of this because you can't have more than one on top of each other. So that'll go to my overflow, and then that'll be something I have to manually sort. I could get a non-stackable sorter, but there's so many non-stackable things in the game that it's just probably just easier. Plus, I probably don't have that many swords lying around, so it's probably easier to sort that manually. Now, the next thing I kind of added to the system was over here, a shulker unloader. Now, I used the design I used from my, I guess we remove this, from my video where I did 7 must-know redstone contraptions, and this was one of them. And it's a great thing because I just bring my shulker monsters back. I can just toss them in here. Let me just show real quick. As you can see here, we have a shulker with some stuff in it. If I shove that into this chest, it's immediately going to go into this dispenser here. And I just have to activate this. It places it, and it's going to slowly remove everything out. And then the second it's done, it breaks it, and it also goes into the system. So then this, I basically just hook up to here, however fast you want to do it. Just like this. So now all these items are going to go through my sorting system on its own. So I'll have one input chest, basically like up here maybe, and we'll have 2 lines. One is the just manual, so I can just throw in singular items. And then this one will be the shulker unloader, so we can get massive amounts of things going through. Right now, everything's going to be stuck in here until I set up a little clock, which I can just show real quick. And here we are, just a simple clock. I'll probably have one that I can turn on and off because you're about to see, this thing is loud. So as you can see, things, oh, they've already gone up. You can see this one is not working quite well. I probably messed something up. But things are going up. It's going to start sorting around. And for now, they're going to get stuck because I don't have the whole thing set up properly. Let's turn that off. That's really loud. That's kind of one downside, is that these droppers are so loud. I'll probably install a data pack that's just going to silence them because I don't really need that on. Or maybe something in the music and sounds. Maybe I can find a way to extend this, have more sliders, and turn off whatever droppers are. Now, I am going to allow some unsortable chests on the end that basically I just continue over top. I ignore them, and these will be the ones that I put the swords and all the unstackables, or things that like probably don't work for these, like maybe I don't get a lot of them all the time or something like that. I don't know. There'll be room to kind of explore, or things that maybe I get like very rare of and I'm not going to get like a stack of, because there's plenty of things in here that I'm probably not going to get stacks and stacks of, like these sherds. I don't think I'm ever going to get 64. So why would I set up a filter that needs to get like multiple stacks of these? I think it just makes more sense to manually sort those on my own. So we'll do that. So everything's going to flow in, check the chests. If not, go to overflow, leave for me to either add a filter. Maybe like I'm getting a lot of a certain item, so then we add a new one. So maybe we're getting a lot of gray wool and I add one just for gray wool. Probably going to do one for all the wools, but it's going to be like, oh, I have a lot in the overflow. Let's add a new column for that. Maybe something's not getting used a lot. Let's remove it and move it to a manual. Or maybe it could go somewhere else that maybe I don't use it very often, so it doesn't need to be in the central storage unit. I can also hook this whole thing up to maybe some other farms, maybe like ones in the attic of the spire. I can just add a hopper chain, or maybe have it like a dropper where it just drops it onto the line, and it can go into the system sorting, so I don't have things stuck at the very top and everything's in one central location. So let's get to building. Well, first let's get to destroying the old system. We'll try and save our copper golem friends, and then let's build a new one, and then let's take a look at the whole thing all together. And here we are, mostly complete. Now there is plenty more to do in here. As you can see, there's still some missing slots down here from where the kind of template of what goes into these kind of bins. So like this one's the oak, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia possibly. I'm also missing a couple over here, all the way around. And then I have a couple empty ones, like over here, I don't have anything for it yet. So I gotta figure out what should fit into there. I've rearranged some of them based off of my first original plan, but right now it's looking pretty good and pretty filled up. Now, the only problem is I have to set up all the filters, which will probably take longer than sorting all of this manually, honestly. You might notice some of the chests are it's a little bit less chests because I slowly started sorting these on a live stream. If you come through, we'll see. Yeah, so I started sorting them manually. And the plan is to take these, and like I mentioned earlier in the kind of demo, set up them like this, so then I can get all the filters. And for now, we're going to utilize all these pink petals I used in the last sorting system for these guys to get the power right for the how the sorting worked in the last one. It's if you don't understand how it works, go back and watch the video where I actually first built it, and I think I explained it okay in that episode. But now, what we need to do is we need to fill every single chest with these pink petals. And then once I figure out what's going to go into this one, I take it, I go up to that chest, I remove a couple, and I replace it with the filters. And then now when I put things into the system and turn it on, kind of cool how it lights up like that. It's also in a, because of the delay, it's kind of in a pattern. Once it does that, it'll start pushing them through, and now this is a possible sortable item, and then I have to just do that for all of these chests. It's a pain, but I gotta do it if I want it to work. Now, the reason why I kind of mentioned earlier, I didn't put these because these are non-stackable items, as well as like this one for the books and stuff. I think I'm just going to take these up to the library because it makes sense. I'm never going to need them down here, so why store them down here where I need to get stuff for projects? I don't need these books for anything, so I think it makes more sense to have it up in the library up here. Maybe I'll set up a little bit of a storage unit up here just for the books, and, well, I guess I can put all the enchanted books up here, and then have maybe a barrel or two for the regular books and paper, and basically just place all, I guess maybe I'll put a bookshelf, not a bookshelf, a barrel for like the blocks that might fit in there. But now we have to go and just organize all of this. That's going to be the main part I'm going to be spending during this episode in between clips. It'll be getting it all ready, but the next thing I want to do is I want to fix this. You can see it's all hollow up here. You saw it in the time lapse and in the demo build of it. It's all very open. Now, you can't actually see much of the redstone. You can kind of see the hoppers there. So that's not really the problem. I just want to connect this. I don't, because like I've been mentioning, I've talked about it a lot on live stream, I don't do interiors. Everything is just so barren and plain. It's just a shell of a build. I need to do some interiors. So I'm going to go and do some testing, figure out how I can make this all look better and into one piece. But before we decorate this, I gotta show you how it all kind of works together. So as I mentioned before, here's my input chest, kind of fits in. We're gonna free cam just so we can get through all these walls I built. This is the shulker unloader, as you can see. It's missing some pieces. I haven't set it up properly. I forgot to do that when I was streaming that last night. I just need to get a dispenser and some other bits of redstone. Not a problem, because I first need to do the filters before I can start putting things in. Here is my clock I mentioned earlier. So if I put this on, it's just a nice little clock that I can actually turn off and on, and it's just going to filter. And you can see it's going back and forth, and it's just going to keep doing that for all of them. And it's going to send them up, and then once it gets to the end of this line, kind of hook it around, turn that off, so that's loud. It's going to hook around, do all of these, and then hook around again, do all of these, go around here, the manual sorting ones, so it's like up to here. Like I said, we'll probably move some around that don't need to be here, and then my overflow chest over here. So currently I have just things like, I don't know what these are going to go in. I don't know, what is a bottle? Do I even need something like that? Maybe I'll set up, like originally the plan for this, I had a plan for having a laboratory on one of the floors. So maybe those can go up there. There's so many things in here that I don't really need in this sorting system. Like, when am I going to need, I don't know, this banner? maybe I could have something on a different floor for banners, or maybe it can go into with the banner patterns or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to kind of just make our way around, figure it out. I've also been gathering all of my shulkers, empty ones here, because I'm always looking for them, so it's better to have them in a kind of central location. Now all we have to do, get all the kind of temporary placement blocks, filter, and now we can actually go and plan a little bit more of the detailing. Alright, I got a little carried away, wasn't really paying attention, didn't really record much of it, but it didn't really look that good in a flashback, so I thought I would just show you the after shot. You kind of got the before in just the previous clip there, so let's go take a look at what I have made. So as we enter, we have a bit of carpet here that's hiding some sneaky lighting, just so I don't have to have any torches on the floor or lanterns or anything. It's a little noticeable over here. I might remove this so we have the access back down to the nether. I don't know. It's there for now just so I don't actually fall in whilst I was building all this. I've also added a little bit more lighting over here. And over on this side, I flipped this upside down so we can get some lighting just so we can see a little bit better without having to go the full bright all the time. Because I want it to be kind of moody with how the shader kind of is. Now, if you kind of notice, we got a couple friends here in honor of our copper golem friends. We've plastered their faces while they're still helping us out, keeping some lighting in this area. Now for the full reveal, let us take a look. And you can't really see much because it's kind of dark, so let's full bright it up. I wish there was an easier way to get the stripped logs. It took me so long just to do this. I mean, I have the free spruce logs now because of my factory, but turning it into the stripped version, we need a version of the, is it in here? No, I haven't sorted anything yet, so it's not in there. I need like the stone cutter, but for wood, that actually just strips the wood quickly, because this axe has been repaired and replaced over and over constantly just to keep up with all the log stripping capabilities. Now, before we get into today's episode, we need to do two more things. First, we need to fix this problem. It's too dark, I don't see any of the detail. I spent so long. I mean, some of the lighting seems to be getting through those corners, but it's not enough to see the detail. So first, we need to get some lighting up there, and second, we need to deal with all this. So, first, whilst we're kind of coming up with an idea of all this, I think I'm just going to load all of this into the system, set it off to go, and then just see how long it's actually going to take for this to sort properly. Now, a lot of these things, like over here currently, I didn't set up any of the flowers, because I don't know how many flowers I actually have in here, probably not too many. And then things like redstone, I don't know what I actually have that is redstone, so basically from here over, it's basically unfiltered. The rest of these, I spent like 3-4 hours maybe getting all of the filters set up. I mean, this stuff took forever. The excess I put in there, I kind of wanted just a nice clean shot of everything so that I knew all of the how long it's going to take just to do all this, and probably never again. Now there are a couple of wrong ones over here. Like over by the netherite, obviously I don't have stacks and stacks of the blocks. I mean, if we go over here, this is what it's supposed to look like. Redstone's a little easier, but emeralds, lapis, diamonds, and netherite, I don't really have that many blocks. I got some diamond blocks, but not enough to fill a filter. I might be able to fit a singular one in there, and then we'll just see how it goes. But for the rest of these, like let's take a look at the tuff. It's kind of simple. Got one of basically every single thing I can and probably have at least some of, and we just got to sort it in. So let's quickly load these in, see how it looks, and then let's fix this lighting problem, and then our new sorting system will be open and ready to be used. And here we are. Our lighting system is a little crude. I just couldn't pick an option. I had so many different ones I wanted to go with, but I think this one kind of works, having our happy gas employed, kind of carrying around some lanterns. Because I originally thought maybe I could use some way of using the golems. I've kind of moved them all out here whilst I'm waiting for them to oxidize. But for now, I think the happy gas kind of work in here. They're not in the way because the thing I was worried about most was when I was flying in, if I would hit them on my way up, because that's how I tend to get up onto the multiple floors. And it seems to be doing quite okay. They're not in the way, but they're lighting up the walls so we can see all the detail I put in. And that's a pretty good way to kind of wrap that up. Now, just a couple last things I've changed. This is the button to start the shulker unloader. I didn't realize you have to click the button every time you want to start. unless you have a bunch in, it's going to keep going. But for every time it stops, you have to put in a new one and then press the button. So I just moved out here to make things a little bit easier, as well as I had to fix my timing circuit here, because the problem was it was going too quickly and it was unlocking and locking these too fast, and it was skipping over chests. So I had all of my overflow chests were actually full of just all of the things that are actually in the system currently. I got a bit of wool there because we've actually filled up already. I need to get some more shulkers in my ones that I have lots of, like the gray and black wool from my sheep farm. But this new kind of timing circuit works a lot better. It's based off of the design that went with this whole thing, but it's just a little bit changed so I can turn it on and off quickly. As you can see, if I just flick on this lever, it's going to push this piston out, and now it's going to be pushing this signal through, allowing it to just complete the circuit, and I can turn it off whenever I want. That's kind of the whole purpose of this one. I don't want it to be on whilst I'm down here in searching, because if I had it on and I were to take one block out, it would put a random thing into this. So with it off, I can take things out, put one back, and filter it a little bit better that way. But I think that's where we're going to leave today's episode. We got so much done. This new sorting system is amazing, and it's going to save me so much time looking for stuff in the future. Now I'm going to have to do some prep and maybe some more filtering ones and get rid of a couple of these, because we got more blocks coming up in the new update, and we have quite a few things that aren't sorted properly, like in these chests. Things like the bottles I might put up onto a floor upstairs, but I think I have things like just copper ingots. I don't have a spot for them, because I kind of put all the blocks into these ones, and I need to find a place for those. So we might need to kind of shift things around, remove some, consolidate into one for a couple. We'll see how it goes. That's just into planning, but we got the most part of it done. All the items in my world are pretty much in this room now, so that is great. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more episodes coming very soon. Until next time.